Hi guys, welcome to my sports world. It's Sunday, it's game day. The match just ended. What a knuckle game this was. As expected, the games against Wolverhamptons are always a knuckle game. It's like, I don't know, it's a physical battle out of something and everything. These are one of the few teams in the Premier League that are giving most teams the same recipe. You want to beat us? You got to do it on strength. I haven't seen many games involving the Wolves and other teams that are technical and enjoyable. They are always a freaking wrestling match. And I want to say we got caught on the sideline for the first 5 to 10 minutes, where we struggled. We didn't get into shape. The formation kind of looked like a little wonky at the back, and the midfield was kind of like overrun and overplayed in some areas. Then we started to get more into the game. First half was not good. Wolverhampton could have easily been up 1-0. They could have been 1-1 at half time. And Bruno's goal, too bad he was 2 inches offline, like offside. It was a beautiful goal. Too bad he was offside. But all in all, 0-0, 0-0 at the halftime mark. Probably okay. Second half was better by both teams, I have to say. Both teams seemed to want to be more direct towards goals. Especially Manchester. You saw a big difference in Manchester United from the first half to the second half. And at times, games like these are kind of boring because there's a lot of knuckle and bone and fighting on the midfield and up and down on the sides. And you maybe get 1 or 2 chances every 4 to 5 minutes. I have to say that the Wolverhampton, they maybe deserved a point because they had a huge goal chance in the second half, but thank God we had David De Gea, who had a double save out of this world. Reaction save that is fantastic. I'm an old goalie myself, so I know what kind of reflexes and what kind of concentration you have to have in those situations to be able to pull something off like that. Fantastic save. We saw a shift, and I want to applaud Ole Gunnar Solskjaer for doing a quick change in the second half when he took Daniel James off and put on Cavani. That kind of changed the whole rhythm up front and up on top. And you could see that when we did that, we stretched the Wolverhampton's back 4 or back 5 or whatever they play with sometimes, and their midfield. We stretched them more. Before Cavani come on, they were way more compact. But as soon as Cavani came on, we stretched them, and we played in a different way on the midfield, and our midfield took more grip of the game, and we were way better in the second half. But like I said, I expected a knuckle game, and we got a knuckle game. I said the other day that we will win 1-2 or 2-1 or 1-0 or something like that. And we did. We scored. Mason Greenwood scored an absolutely beautiful goal. Technical skills out of this world. He knew where he wanted to put the ball, and he put it there like on a postage stamp. Neves can complain everything he wants, and as long as he wants. That was not a foul by Paul Pogba. I saw the rerun like 4 or 5 times, even close up in slow motion. It didn't look like he even touched Neves. And when you look at Neves after he gets the ball, Neves hits the ball, then he plants his foot and takes 2 running steps before he looks at the referee and goes, "Oh, I'm hurt," And then he starts to complain about it. And after the game as well, what an idiot of a player. Neves is one of the biggest. I'm sorry. He should have had red card for constantly complaining about it, even after the game. I hope that the referees in the future are keeping a close eye on Neves, because he is a dirty player. He is a player with no moral. He is He lacks moral. You can see it even in during the Euros when he played for Portugal, and the other games that he plays for Wolves. He's one player that I do not want on Manchester United team. I don't care what has been said in the papers and the news and the media. Neves to Manchester United should never happen. He is one player he's one of the most dirtiest players in Premier League, and he kind of do these small things. He doesn't do the brutal things, but he kind of gives these small nudges here and there. And then when he gets into something, then he starts to complain about, oh, he did this to me, and that's dirty as well. It's bad morals. He has no scruples. He's a terrible player. He's a terrible human being. Football human being on the field. How he is at home, I don't know. I don't care. On the field, he's a terrible human being. No morals. At the end, I am happy with a win, 1-0. It shut the Wolves up, and we needed to. Teams like Wolverhampton, they deserve to lose games like this, because they played a dirty game. If you look at the game one more time, look at all the tackles, look at all the people to people and person to person and player to player interaction. There was a lot of things that they got free kicks for that was not free kicks even, where they did the same thing to us and it wasn't even whistled for. The referee didn't even look twice about it. So a dirty team. So I didn't expect anything else from this game. Hard fought, close battle game where either team could have nicked it, either team could have stolen the win. This time we stole the game. We stole the win at the end, and yeah, I'm happy with the result. Am I happy with the play? No. But then again, this is one of those games, and there's like 3 teams in the Premier League that are like this. Wolverhampton is one of them, and Burnley is the other one, and Southampton is the third one. We've not played 2 of them. Southampton, Wolverhampton, and Burnley are all 3 teams that is bringing the knuckles, and they every time there's a knuckle game, and especially Burnley, they're the same way. Just look at how Burnley played today against Leeds. Normally, Leeds is a team that has nice flow and attacking flow. Burnley disrupted that whole game. And this is what we have to be coming up against later on in the season. We have to play this Burnley team. So this is a good exercise for us, because we know that now we have played Southampton, we have played Wolverhampton, we got 4 points out of those 2 games. I'm kind of okay with that. Now we know that when next time we meet Burnley, and next time we meet Wolverhampton at home, and we meet Southampton at home, we know what we're up against, and we saw that last year too. Well, we play them away and we struggle, and we get caught into this physical battle thing. But as soon as they come to us, the game opens up totally different in most cases. Now, going forward, I want to say what I was not completely okay with in this game was when they started the game, and I saw, well, before they started the game, and the team selection came out. I was like, okay, I'm okay with this. Let's try it. You don't know how the game is going to turn out unless you try it, and after a while you see how it goes. So I have no problem having Fred, Daniel James in there, and playing Pogba. But what I didn't like was it didn't work. So. But what I liked was that he took out Daniel James very early, 53 minutes, 52 minutes, something like that. So it was like 5-7 minutes after half. And that's probably about the time that Cavani needed to get ready to get in. But what I think he could have done differently, this is not my screen. This is not a criticism of poor judgment or anything like that. But I think that when you know you're going up against a team that is going to give you a bare knuckle fight, bare knuckles. This game is going to be fought in the trenches. I think that Fred is okay because he's tenacious and he's running around and he's trying to be up in people's feet and all that stuff and up in their body to disrupt them. So he kind of had the right mentality for that. But he is a little bit light, if you know what I mean. And when you're playing up against people like Wolverhampton and Traore, who is like a bodybuilder, and the other guys, Ruben Neves is big and physical, you need someone that can match that physicality on the midfield. So I feel that this game would have been a nice game for Donny van de Beek to come in instead of Fred. And I think that we could have had, instead of putting Pogba all the way down, we could have had Pogba up where Daniel James was. So we could have taken Fred and Daniel James off. We could have put Pogba up on top and Donny van de Beek in the middle. And we could have used, we could have used, could have had Cavani from start with Greenwood. Had Greenwood on a little bit on the middle there. And Sancho was running up and down there on the right. So there could have been a different team selection with two players could have been changed out for this game. What disappointed me the most in this game was Jadon Sancho. I think in this game he was one of the weaker players. He gave away the ball a lot. There was a lot of passes with the wrong address on them. A lot of his passes was to Wolves players, and in fact, in a couple of cases, he was the one who gave away the ball on a counter-attack for the Wolves. And I think that this was one game that he could not get into. He's a technical player, and like I said, Wolves has a lot of physical players. So this was a game that didn't fit Chanso, and it showed. It showed. Can it be that he's a little bit rusty? He doesn't have the match, Playing in the Bundesliga is a little bit different than playing in the Premier League. So I expect it will take about 3 or 4 or 5 matches before Sancho and Varane are in and settled with the tempo, with the pace, the physicality, because La Liga is not as physical as Premier League. Bundesliga can be physical, but it doesn't have the same pace, the same tempo. So yeah, I think Sancho was average, maybe below average. If I'm just gonna roll the dice, 1 to 6, 1 is like terrible and 3 is average. I'll probably give him a 3. I think that Varane did a great game. After he was a little bit shaky the first 10 minutes. Totally acceptable and expected. It was his first game, and he's up against tough guys. But he did his job very good. From 10-12 minutes out, the first 10 to 12 minutes, everyone in the back four was kind of shaky. Luke Shaw had a bad day today too. I don't think Luke Shaw showed his best side today, and the first 10-15 minutes also, Aaron Wan-Bissaka was kind of a little bit off foot, but he played himself back into the game as the game progressed. He was one of the better ones today at the end of the game, and he saved us a couple of times. So if I was going to give a roll the dice, today I want to say that David De Gea will get a 6. He was outstanding in goal, did nothing wrong. He worked as a sweeper in the back, took care of balls that was coming behind the back four. He had 3 or 4 excellent saves and 1 world-class save. So he was absolutely spot on today. He got a 6. Aaron Wan-Bissaka, like I said, he had a little shaky opening, 10-15 minutes, but after that he was flawless. I want to give him a 4.5, which is above average, and then almost, 5 is good, really good, and 6 is world class. So 4.5 for Wan-Bissaka. Luke Shaw on the other side of the field, a 4. I don't think he showed his best side today. He wasn't terrible, but he did a lot of weird stuff, and he gave away the ball a couple of times. And he he wasn't as resolute as he normally is. I think both of Wan-Bissaka and Luke Shaw could have done a better job today going forward, but both of them did okay in the back and did good. Harry Maguire, I think, did excellent today. He was the better of them two centre backs, just because Varane needs a couple of games, 2 or 3 or 4 games to get into the gist of things. I want to say that Maguire gets a 5 today. He did an excellent job. Didn't do many mistakes. I think he had one little shaky thing at the beginning, but that was it. He gave away the ball in a crucial position on the field, but that was about it. Varane, I want to give Varane a 4, which is above average and good. It's good. He did a good job. In the midfield, Fred, he got running behind and running in between sometimes. He did a couple of good things off. He was better on the offensive side of the things than defensive things on the side. So for his offensive part, he had a good shot too. A little bit better placed, and he could have given the goalkeeper some problems. So I want to give Fred a 3. He was average today. He was averagely good. He didn't do many big mistakes. He did a couple of small here and there but I think he kind of he met his match on the midfield today because of big physical guys. As far as Pogba, I think Pogba didn't shine as he did in the first and the second game. He got a little bit lost today. He played too low. So it wasn't because of his performance itself. I think he played too low. I like Pogba further up on the field and a little bit too on the left-hand side. That's where he's been showing his greatness lately. So I want to give Pogba a 4. Bruno Fernandes, same as Pogba. He was lost in a few minutes in between here and there. Those moments you didn't see him, and then you saw him again, and stuff like that. And so I want to give him a 4, nothing more. As far as it goes for Sancho, I want to give him a 3, 3.5 maybe. He wasn't too good today. So Daniel James, he didn't do much. He had a couple of good crosses that could have done something. He had a couple of good ball recoveries and tackles. I think there was a Luke Shaw or Wan-Bissaka lost the ball in a crucial point. I think it was Luke Shaw, and Daniel James won it back. So I want to give him a 3. He was average today. As far as it goes for Greenwood, I want to give Greenwood a 5. He did excellent today. He was up there running like a little terrier. He did runs. He did flicks. He worked down to the lower midfield area, and on set pieces he was always there to defend. So he did a good job today. So yeah, I think that was he's on a good run right now. 3 goals in 3 matches. That's darn good if you ask me. For the substitutions, Martial came in, and I think I gave Martial a lot of pluck last time when he played at Southampton. In Southampton, the game, he looked a little bit too bothered to play. He didn't have the passion. He didn't look like he enjoyed being on the field. Today was different. You could see him taking initiatives. When he got the ball, he tried to dribble. He tried to run inwards from the side. His passings were good. He looked up and he had an overlook and did way better than he did in the Southampton game. So huge improvement for Martial. And if he can keep on working on this and get his shape and his physical better, because he been hurt, so he probably is not 100%. So he will be doing better. So I think that will be good. So he did better today. 3.5 for Martial. As far as Dalot, came in with a few minutes to spare just to secure the win, and he did good. He did a few good things, and he had a massive tackle. Of course, it was a free kick, blatant free kick. It was clear as day, but it was important that he did that tackle. Yeah, he received a yellow card. So it was important that he did. Cavani, as always, and this is going to be a big thing for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer when Ronaldo comes. Cavani came in, and just his presence up there, his runs, his position, he commands respect from the people. And this is how we stretched them, because Cavani went on diagonal and kind of like bowed runs, and the midfield and the back four, back five at times for Wolves got stretched just because of Cavani's runs and his mobility. Cavani did a good job. He had a few good interactions. He did a few good things here and there. And you saw he was the one who was opening up the space for Greenwood on the goal, because Cavani was kind of like to the side when Greenwood came in. Cavani was like right here. And you could see that two of the Wolves players, there was like 3 or 4 of them right there around Greenwood. 2 of them, or maybe even 3 of them, kind of like backed up and tried to capsule in and block Cavani. They probably expected Greenwood to do a crosser, and I don't know if it was a crosser or a shot on goal, but it went in. But that gave Greenwood so much more space to work with and look up and see. He saw Cavani, he saw the goalpost, and I think he did something in between. And I mean, come on, it is a fantastic thing. And this is what Cavani can do. The times Cavani doesn't score, he opens up, he stretches the defenses because of his runs. And because the defensive players are like, oh my God, here's Cavani, world-class top striker. We got to cover him. And that opens up for like players like Rashford and Greenwood and Pogba and Fernandes. I just hope that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer can find a way to play Cavani and Ronaldo at the same time. If that means going back to a 4-4-2, so be it. You have a back four of Shaw, Maguire, Varane, Bissaka. Then you have a midfield of Pogba, Bruno Fernandes, either Fredo McTominay or Van de Beek, and Sancho. Sancho and Pogba are kind of like working like a floating thing up and down. They're not maybe wingers, but they are midfielders that also go up. So we can go from 4-4-2 to 4-2-4 in just a little shift. And then of course you have Greenwood that can come in for Cavani or Ronaldo or even Pogba, and you have so many possibilities. And the same with Martial, the same with Rashford when he comes in. The problem is going to be when Rashford is completely okay again. Then we might have to go to a 3-5, 3-5-3 or something, or 3-5-2, and play like a V shape, an inverted V shape in the middle, just to be able to supply. Because if you have Cavani and Ronaldo on top, being supported by Bruno and Pogba and Sancho, and you have Rashford there too. Oh my God, there's so many possibilities there when the players comes back. So going forward, it's gonna be a nightmare to pick the team. I hope he's up for it. So we won 1-0, and we are in 3rd place on the in the Premier League setting table. So only Tottenham and West Ham in front of us, I think. I don't see any of those two for longevity at the end of the season. They probably will follow. I'm not saying that they're going to be bad, but I think Tottenham and West Ham is going to be in the top 8 somewhere. But we are right up there now, and this was a very important win, because now we go into an international break, a couple of weeks, 2-3 weeks or something before the next game. I think it's 2 weeks. And it's going to be Newcastle at home. And that's when, hopefully, we will see Ronaldo on his second debut for Manchester United. I just hope, And if anyone, if anyone can think about this and talk to the Manchester United coaches and manager, try and find a way to play Ronaldo and Cavani and Sancho at the same time, because I see Sancho will be coming better, and he will be so important for crosses and assists. You have to have Pogba, Bruno, and Sancho to feed our strikers. And if you can have Cavani and Ronaldo on the team on the field at the same time, you will create a nightmare for defenders, because the four defenders, the back four or back five, whatever they choose to use, they will have to think about taking care of Ronaldo and Cavani, and then who's going to take care of Sancho and Rashford, or Sancho and Pogba, or Sancho and Greenwood? There's so many possibilities here. I am so stoked for the upcoming season, and I think we have a lot of things to look forward to. Don't dwell on this game, guys. If you're a fan, you're gonna love this win. And just remember, Wolverhampton games are always a knuckle game. It's always a war. It's always a physical battle. And this is typical. This is typical when teams meet Wolverhampton. So just take the win and be happy. Until next time, guys. Take care and enjoy Man U's win.